Hey guys, what is a unifying theme that I learned from my favorite author, Robert Greene? Let's find out.
Making it happen, and we so passionate. With dental training, growing your dental practices every single day. Gotta keep rising, be a better version of you. We call it Kaizen. Yeah, practice biopsy. Going up, no stopping. Yeah, practice biopsy. Let's go.
Hey Practice Bobsy, D'Angelo here, business support and self-improvements for dentists. Okay, so today I want to talk about a life lesson that I learned from my favorite author, Robert Greene. And this is a photo right here of myself, Brian Holiday, and Robert Greene standing together. So I was really lucky that last year I got to meet my favorite author and one of my favorite authors. I went to a conference in Seattle and was able to see them talk about their work, and I got the VIP tickets, so I was able to go backstage, spend some time with them, meet these guys, take pictures. Um, couldn't have been nicer. Okay, so I want to get into a particular unifying lesson that I learned from my years of reading Robert Greene books. Now, I love all of his books, but there's an overarching theme that to me is a big takeaway that anyone can benefit from as they're putting together a life. Okay, so Robert has sold millions and millions of books as a modern day history author. Okay, so how does a history author sell millions and millions and millions of books? Well, he doesn't present as a history author. It's one thing that he's passionate about and probably the core thing, but he's disguised in his work as a self-help and basically a business book author. So business books, strategy books sell really well in the overall market. Self-help books sell really, really well in the overall market, but history doesn't so much. So I think Robert found his niche because he took what he really seems to be passionate about, which is historical narratives, unique figures of history. Um, Basically, his works are micro biographies of hundreds of different people from the tapestries of history, and he weaves them together in a unique way into something that will help with business, life, strategy, self help in a way that I have never really seen done before that well, which I think is what makes him unique and makes his work unique, which is why he's resonated with so many millions of people. Okay, so if you haven't looked into his work, these books are pretty recognizable when you're in the bookstore. Um, they're pretty hefty. So these are all big books. Most of Robert's books are 800 pages long. They're in that range. These are thick books. Some are a little shorter, but most of them are really big and take some real time to get through. And they can be dense, but they're also really entertaining. He's got a really entertaining way of writing because he did also come up in Hollywood and was a writer for, I believe, films. So he has the entertainment aspect. He knew how to write in an entertaining way. So he merged the Hollywood background, knowing how to be entertaining. He merged his love for history. He merged the lens of self help and business strategy. And he also merged a lot of his personal problems, like struggles that he had, which served as a motivating drive to create a solution for others. So he had like these different branches that he melded into one to make like a unique presentation package that he could present to the world. Okay. So where do we go from here? Okay, so these are some people from the book that you get to know from his different works. Okay, so all of these people are very, very different. Okay, but they all share common threads in pursuits of excellence. Okay, so we've got Napoleon, who was, leading world conqueror. We've got Darwin, preeminent biologist. Freddie Roach, he's a boxing trainer. Okay, Mary Curie, she won the Nobel Prize for work to do with radioactivity. Okay, we have Da Vinci right here. That goes without saying. Alexander the Great, a war conqueror. John Coltrane. Okay, he's possibly the best jazz musician ever. Michael Faraday, renowned physics professor. Okay, we've got Yoki Matsuoki here, who was a tennis player and did groundbreaking work in neurorobotics. Okay, we have Temple Grandin here, something very different. She did a lot of work with farming and advocacy for those with autism, and she really was groundbreaking in bringing those things to the forefront. 50 Cent, successful musician, rapper, okay? Henry Ford, pioneer of the auto industry, okay? Created Ford Automotive and made cars something that's part of our actual daily lives, okay? Who else do we have? These are all people that we're meeting working through Robert's work, okay? And there's going to be something that's unifying, okay? We've got Ben Franklin, one of the founding figures of America, Andy Warhol, renowned artist, Terence Tao, incredible mathematician, Frederick Douglass, freed slave who became a prolific writer, Socrates, goes without saying, Richard Wright, prolific writer. We have Cleopatra here, literally a queen of Egypt. P.T. Barnum, a creator of what would become modern marketing. He created the circus and had this idea that we can market and promote things in a way that never had been done before. Harry Houdini, he was great and made the history books for something really different. He was an illusionist and an escape artist. Bruce Lee, he brought together the worlds of Hollywood, Chinese culture, and martial arts. We have Florence Nightingale here. She made groundbreaking movements in the world of nursing and healthcare. And then Gandhi, his accomplishments also kind of go without saying, okay, and what he did for peace and what he did for India and just the culture of peace, okay? So a common theme among all these people, like what the heck does this have to do with you and why are all these people in these books? So the common thing that I learned from here is that all of these people embraced their uniqueness and pursued what felt natural for them to do. Okay, so Terence Tao, mathematician, he was never going to be Bruce Lee. Okay, Bruce Lee, he was never, ever, ever going to make groundbreaking work in the field of nursing. Okay, like all of these people only could have done what they did, and if they tried to do what someone else did, it wouldn't have worked. It would have been super, super difficult for them. Okay, um, you can just kind of make all the different same comparisons. We've got Freddie Roach here, the boxer. He was never going to be, you know, John Coltrane in jazz music. They had to lean into what they were naturally drawn to. If they tried to pursue math when that wasn't their thing, then they wouldn't have been great. If they tried to pursue tennis like this incredible person right here, semi-pro tennis player, went on to work Google, do a lot of pioneering work in robotics. It wouldn't have worked. These are different people. She's different than 50 Cent the rapper. And we have to understand that we have these unique strengths that we can double down on, okay? So Robert Greene says all of us are born unique. This uniqueness is marked genetically in our DNA. We are a one-time phenomenon in the universe. Our exact genetic makeup has never occurred before, nor will it ever be repeated. So there's no one that can do what we do, no one that brings the same unique things to the table that we can bring, okay? So what are your unique aptitudes? What are your unique interests? And how do they converge and cross paths in a way that's really unique that no one else could repeat? Okay, that makes you one of one because no one else will be able to do what you do in the way that you do it. No one else can do it because you are totally unique in your aptitudes. Okay, so what I quickly did just for this presentation is I made this little blossom diagram here that shows a convergence of things that are important to me. So dentistry, I love dentistry, and I knew I wanted to be a dentist since I was about 12 years old. Okay, I just love everything about it. And each of these different petals on this blossom have different layers. You can go down further and further, but dentistry, I loved it. Literature, books, reading, writing. I've loved reading and writing for years, and it's like a huge part of me. I wouldn't have written an 800-page book if I didn't love writing. And I read books whenever I get the chance to. Family is really important to me because if, family foundation isn't there, and if that falls apart, then nothing to me has as much value. And the family really is the center of everything for me. So without that, this picture isn't complete. And to other individuals, hey, that maybe isn't an important one. Teaching is super important. I love to teach. That's why I'm making this video. That's why I own an education company in addition to being a dentist. I love the aspect of teaching, and I love the aspect of helping people who are truly motivated to learn something that I would maybe be in a fortunate position to help them learn. Japanese culture, I think that's something that I uniquely try to infuse. With Japanese culture, I try to infuse ideas of Kaizen, which is related to self-improvement, Ikigai, which is involved to overall wellness of life, organizational principles of like keeping your home organized and keeping your life in like proper order, different anime, different manga, different video games, JRPG, like certain types of video games based on Japanese culture that infuse things and life experiences in me that I branch out into broader views. Competitive drive. I've worked with Tim Grover, Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan's trainer. Sports, like having a competitive drive, just wanting to win, win, win. And how does that apply from sports and other areas of competition to having a competitive drive to do well in other areas? And all of this for me are things that come together. So if you were to make a diagram like this, an aptitude blossom, as I call it, your aptitude blossom would look totally different, and it would look completely unique to you, and it could only look how it looks for you. Okay, if you try to copy mine, it's not going to work. Okay, but when you have like a truly authentic aptitude blossom, the passion, the clarity, the certainty, the excitement, the drive, all of that's going to come. You're not going to want to sleep in. You're not going to want to sit around and be lazy, because you're going to know with clarity, these are the things that I like. These are the things that make me excited to get up. And this is what I want to do. And when you can recognize clearly the things that you really care about and where your aptitudes are, where are you good at? Where do things feel easy? Where do things come naturally? What do you have an innate excitement for? Then you have a greater chance to really just bring it all together. And when you're doing that, there's no stress. There's a sense of ease. And the more of these petals from an aptitude blossom you can overlap, the easier and clearer it all comes together. And then maybe you'll be your own version of one of these people from history. Because if there's one lesson that Robert Greene has taught me, is that there is room in the history books for all of us.